my name is Diana Diaz. I'm 15 years old, and my TED Talk is going to be about a story I'm writing for teenagers, adults, and honestly, anyone and anything that feels like they don't fit in. This is my preface. Aftermath. Title. Sometimes adding a bit more pain to what's already there actually helps. You know how people say to destroy all remnants of whatever it was that caused you sorrow? How can writing away help? Forget history and it'll repeat itself, continuously in a cycle that never ends. That's exactly the reason that I immerse myself in all the memories that I swore ruined me. That's probably also precisely the reason I've never been able to get over my past. The balance isn't there. I either forget or I get swallowed whole into the abyss. This is also why I'm going to keep moving forward. Those 3 words were said to me by someone I hold dear in my heart. I can give up and expose myself through self-hatred. I can call myself a slut and drink enough alcohol until I start crying it out. I can punch my walls at night when I think everyone is asleep, quiet enough not to wake up my parents, but loud enough to alert the spiders sleeping near me. Instead, I would decide to keep moving forward. Not for my sake. I learned I can't do things if it only benefits myself. For the people that currently love me now and will in the future. And for you, dear reader, to know, dear listener, to know that no matter how many times you fuck up, there's something to live for. First chapter. So, it's your first time here. I'm going to draw a picture of me as a baby. There I was, a beautiful, bald, toothless baby. The resemblance to a potato was uncanny. I could have sworn I was once a part of their plant family. Screaming my lungs out, disturbing everyone in the hospital room besides the smiling nurse who looks to my family in hopes to share the joy of a human being. She gets nothing. There I was again, sitting under the wilted tree during recess, writing my cliche stories of the boy next door and wondering what sex was. I was 10. Around this time is when I first started realizing that I felt a certain way. A different type of certain way that made me feel all around sad, which I would then 3 years later discover to be depression, and 5 years later accept it. I wasn't necessarily an emo goth yet, but I wasn't the popular girl. Keep in mind I said yet. Elementary school, where everyone was nobody and nobody was everyone. Where we got along, and the biggest fight I got into was when a girl didn't approve of the amount of Barbies I had, or more so, didn't have. Where I laughed and frolicked around whilst questioning the purpose of the creepy man across the street, staring a bit too long at my good girlfriend. Happy, laughing, oblivious. Then came the treacherous junior high. Cicero, Illinois had an odd school system. Pre-K to 6 was elementary. 7th through 8th was junior high. Freshman year was its own school called Morden Freshman Center. And high school, consisting of sophomore through senior year, was Morden East or Morden West. 4 different schools in preparation for 4 stupid years. We'll get back to that later. So, junior high. The time I realized that not everyone had a laugh-filled childhood is the time I realized nobody would take me seriously. The moment I noticed people didn't regard other people's emotions as much as I did was when I witnessed the fear I've always unknowingly had. Solitude. So there I was, walking through the stainless steel doors with my hands gripping the straps of my backpack, smiling happily, unaware of the shitheads inhabiting the school. I had my first run-in with a stereotypical popular kids group. I sat alone at lunch the first day just to be bombarded by the boys who wanted that table. I was questioned so much to the point that I sat with the girls in the table behind me. I immediately knew they were not for me. There was nothing wrong with them, just they weren't for me. Throughout the year, I stayed silent. I did my homework, I was passive, and I talked to my best friend, who was also my family. I'll call him Zeke. Zeke and I were like 2 peas in a pod. Except the pod we were in was too tight, and there wasn't any room for anyone else. I distanced myself from anyone who might potentially interest me for the sake of making sure nobody would hurt me, not realizing that my lack of experience with other people would soon enough cause me to make terrible social decisions. The summer of 7th grade for me was I stayed silent and cried while listening to the Dragon Ball Z soundtrack. 8th grade was brighter. I tried to make friends and succeeded in making a good few friends. Oh, a few good friends. Cecilia, Elisha, and Faye. Cecilia was tall, cute, clumsy, and outgoing. Elisha was secluded and quiet, but knew how to make good jokes and laugh. Faye was honestly gorgeous to me. Quiet, and her sense of humor was somewhat vulgar, but it was funny nonetheless. I loved all my friends, but I feared the end of 8th grade to freshman year. I wasn't ready to start all over again. I made the most of my 8th grade year by spending my time on things that mattered, like learning to swear, to be outgoing, and how to stand up for myself. There's a drawing where I'm gonna draw right now, where Cece is saying, say fuck you, and I say frick you, because in junior high, or actually in junior high, I wasn't able to swear. I actually did not have the ability to. I didn't know how to. My friends would say fuck you, and I'd be like, frick you, and I couldn't speak. And this book that I'm writing that is probably never gonna get published, and probably nobody's gonna recognize it, is just to let other people know that you're not alone if you're weird, or if you were bullied, or if people think like that girl's probably an emo goth, because you're not an emo goth. I probably look like an emo goth. I mean, my bangs and acne, and I like anime and stuff. I probably look like a real goth, but I'm actually really outgoing, and I even have Den Day on my laptop, and I even look like that. Look at that. I look disgusting. But this book, I hope it gets published one day, is to let you know that you're special and you matter.